Julie Ryan, noted psychic and medical intuitive, is ready to answer your personal questions, even those you never knew you could ask. For more than 25 years, as she developed and refined her intuitive skills, Julie used her knowledge as a successful inventor and businesswoman to help others. Now, she wants to help you to grow, heal, and get the answers you've been longing to hear. Do you have a question for someone who's transitioned? Do you have a medical issue? What about your pet's health or behavior? Perhaps you have a loved one who's close to death and you'd like to know what's happening. Are you on the path to fulfill your life's purpose? No matter where you are in the world, take a journey to the other side and ask Julie Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this week. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. We got a whole bunch of callers on hold, and I am going to get to them in just a second. But first, I want to go into a couple of just housekeeping things. What we're going to do is fill you in on what's happening with my life. My husband, Tim, is going in for surgery. He's getting a new knee next Tuesday, so please keep him in your prayers. And as a result of that, I am not going to be doing the live show next week because I'm going to be at the hospital with him doing all that, taking care of my honey thing. So I have recorded a great show, though, with Michael Sandler, who's a really interesting guy. He's a former athlete who has transformed himself into kind of a guy who puts together spiritual leaders and gives people advice and does things like that. And if you've ever had any issue with your weight in your whole life, you're going to want to listen to this. We spend a whole segment talking about stuff that has to do with weight control. And he's got some really great suggestions for us, some that I hadn't heard before. So you're going to want to listen to that. And it'll just play in the normal time and everything. And then I'll be back the following week on the 8th. So just wanted to let you know that. Also, when I come back on the 8th, it'll be the first show of the month, which means that I give a free session. I give a drawing. I do a drawing the first of each month and give a free session. So it's valued at $155. The only thing you have to do to register is leave a review for the show, either on Apple or if you go to rate my podcast /Julie. Rate this podcast, I think it is. I'll put it in the show notes. Rate this podcast /Julie, and that'll take you to wherever you're listening to the show and downloading it. By the way, remember to subscribe so that you can get downloads and you'll be able to get the most recent shows. When I changed hosts, the feed changed, so you may need to erase the feed that you have on and reload it. Just do a search for Ask Julie Ryan and the new feed will come up. And it's got all my old shows on it. So the 3 easy things are follow me on Instagram, sign up for my blog at AskJulieRyan.com, and then just rate the show. And then you too may be eligible to win a free 1-hour session, and we can talk about whatever you want. So that'll be really fun. I'll look forward to seeing who the winner is this time. Okay, let's go to the phones. And our first caller is Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Terrific. Please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
I'm calling from Collinsville, Illinois.
Terrific. All right. And then I was on Melissa's show, you guys, a couple of weeks ago, and just wanted to introduce her to all of you. So, Melissa, tell everybody about the work you do and how they can find you and a little bit of your background.
I am a Reiki master, a medium, an intuitive. So I have a weekly podcast. It's called Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness that you are on. And it's all about deepening your spirituality and also improving your daily life. I do coaching, life coaching with people, readings. I also just wrote a book called Beautifully Broken. It is my story about surviving a toxic marriage and surviving single motherhood and proving that you can rise from the ashes like a phoenix and totally rebuild your life. I also am a German teacher, so I hold many hats right now. I grew up in Collinsville. I became a German teacher. I got married and was in a very toxic marriage and left when my twins were about a year old. And it was at that point that I actually went back to school to get my teaching certificate. And just a few years ago, I sort of went through a spiritual awakening and decided, well, I didn't really decide. I realized that I was supposed to be doing healing work aside from just teaching. So I went back to school to get my Reiki certification and decided that I wanted to start a podcast. And so it's just been growing and growing, and now this is what I'm doing a lot of, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. You are doing a terrific job, too. How can people find you and find your work? What's the best way for them to find you?
I have a website. It's melissaoatman.com, and there you can see all of the services that I offer and book directly from my website. My book is available beautifully broken on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads. I have a Facebook page. I'm on Instagram. My podcast, Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, it's available on iTunes, Podbean, Google Podcasts, Spotify. It's all over the place.
I know. You need to be this day and age. And now Amazon's got a new one I see, too. So they've got one that's going on. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I just created a program for kids. It's called Mindfulness Matters, and it was designed really for teachers in mind to be able to use in the classroom, but also it's great for parents who just want to teach mindfulness with their own children. I feel like there's so many kids these day and age that have high anxiety, and mindfulness is a great way to help them deal with everything that's going on.
Good. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us this evening, everybody. We've posted on all my social media at Ask Julie Ryan on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the link to the show that I was on with Melissa, and it was short and sweet, and it was fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. I want to thank you so much for being on my show.
Oh, my gosh. My pleasure. Well, thanks for joining us this evening. Enjoy your evening, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. You bet. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go to Victoria next. And here she is. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Julie.
How are you, girl?
Well, I'm concerned about my baby girl who's on the phone with us, Candace. So I really want you and your brilliance and your special touch to help her. She's having chest pains. Candace, why don't you talk about it to Julie?
I've just been experiencing over the course of like the last maybe 3 months sharp chest pains and pressure on my chest, and the pain travels down my arm and the side of my face. I also have cervical degenerative disc disease and spinal stenosis, so I thought it had to do with that. I thought maybe it was anxiety, but I went to the hospital. I did have a stress test done, and so I'm in the process of them wanting to do a CAT scan with contrast, and I'm nervous because they want me to take all these pills before this test, and
all of her blood work is normal. Her pulse, every oxygen's normal. Julie, you read her when you read me a couple of months ago, and you brought up something about hormones. She went today, and they did the dimmer. That's normal, so she doesn't have a blood clot. So this is just a mystery as to what this is.
All right. Please tell everybody where you guys are calling in from.
I live in Walnut Creek, and Candace lives about 30 minutes away in a little town called Discovery Bay, California.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you on my radar, Candace, and how that works is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit. because we're all spirits attached to a body having a human experience. And when we're attached to a body, we vibrate more slowly simply because the body has mass. So I close my eyes. I'm going to watch a laser beam head out to you in California. You guys are okay with the fires now, right? Hopefully that's all out of the you're out of the woods, literally, with the fires. Okay, good. And I'm going to have a hologram of you in my mind's eye, and then I'm going to envision shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head, and it will be as if I'm looking at an X-ray or a CT scan or an MRI. And then we'll go from there. Something will be identified immediately thereafter. There will be some type of energetic healing that will happen. So let's see what we come up with. What I came up with before, Victoria, you were saying was hormones going on with Candace? Okay. All right. When I do a scan on somebody and watch a healing, I'm in and out of different realities, so I don't remember. But it's helpful when you prompt me, because sometimes I can go back and recall it. But if I write it down or if I hear it, it'll go into my regular human memory. But when I'm in and out of different realities, I just don't remember it. Not to mention I probably talk to a couple thousand people a year anyway, too. So, all right, I'm going to hold you over for the break. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll scan you, Candace. I'll probably scan you during the break. And then when we come back, we'll talk about it. Stay with us. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Welcome back to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. We're talking with people from all over the country and even abroad. And we've got Victoria and her daughter Candace on the phone right now. And during the break, ladies, I scanned you, Candace, and what I got was that your electrolytes are totally out of whack. Totally out of whack. I watched bags of fluids, like an IV fluids that you would see, at the doctor's office or the hospital. I saw them get administered to you, and then you calmed down. Your system was working better. Are you on some kind of crazy diet? Have you been eating well? Have you been eating healthy stuff? What's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm actually a health coach. I'm a nutrition coach. So for the most part, the last few days I've been eating like crap because of stress and all of this. Whenever I get really stressed out, I emotionally eat. But for the most part, I eat very clean. I'm pescatarian.
Okay.
I try and stay away from processed foods. I don't drink a lot of alcohol. I exercise 30 minutes a day. I do drink like a natural electrolyte. I was drinking a natural electrolyte up until about 3 weeks ago. I stopped drinking it just because I was doing like a 3-week cleanse. A cleanse that just consisted of all plant-based foods. So
I think that's perhaps is what's thrown your body out of whack. You look like, when I got you on my radar, your energy field looked like the static or the snow you'd see on a malfunctioning TV screen. And it was, your electrolytes are way out of balance. And that can affect your heart. That can affect all kinds of things. If you're a health coach, you know that. So my suggestion is, I would suggest you go find a functional medicine doctor. And ifm.org is a really good place to look for that. For somebody in your area, you put in your zip code, functionalmedicine.org will work.
To my husband today, I said I would rather pay out of pocket and go to a really great naturopathic doctor or just a holistic doctor.
Well, functional medicine docs are MDs and DOs, so they've got the best of all worlds. They can come from the Western medicine side of the equation and the naturopathic side as well, but they look at the body as a whole. Your electrolytes are out of whack. With a cardiologist, I think it makes sense. They're going to do all the cardiology stuff on you, but you need somebody who's going to look at your body as a whole. This is electrolyte based, and I think it's probably from the cleanse you did. So I would check that makes total sense to me.
But she says that the pain in her chest and the shortness of breath have been going on for a couple of months. So that's before.
Definitely a few weeks before I started the cleanse, for sure.
Well, your electrolytes are out of whack. Maybe they were out of whack before and then it made it worse. I don't know. But I would find a functional medicine doctor. Hopefully the energy healing that I did on you with putting electrolytes into your system will help calm you down in the meantime. So I hope that helps. Okay. I hope you feel better. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
You bet. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
All right, let's go to Bob next. Hi, Bob.
Hi, this is Bob in San Francisco. And
how are you?
I've got a long-term, like 3 or 4 years, right groin and hip problem that's really been painful. I've tried a lot of different things. And I think my right upper rear tooth might be tied in with it because that's also achy.
Your right rear tooth? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Tooth like in your mouth,
not.
teeth? Okay.
As in
upper
mouth.
Or lower? Like
upper.
A molar?
Upper, the farthest molar in the back, the upper right.
Upper right. Interesting. Okay. It's like the old song, the knee bone's connected to the shin bone, connected to the ankle bone thing. All right. Let me get you on my radar. Let's see what's going on. So you're having pain in your right hip and it radiates down into your right side of your groin. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, but they're not sure if the groin is causing the hip or the hip is causing the groin. I had hernia surgery, and that did not help it at all. If anything, it just made it worse because they clipped a nerve as well.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm seeing scar tissue between the two. Between your right hip and your groin. All right, scar tissue looks like a spider web, but more fibrous than the little threads, that a spider web is in and not as uniform. So I'm cutting that. Imagine a basketball team winning a championship and cutting the net off of the rim, Bob, at the end of the game to keep it as a souvenir. That's what I do. I cut it with these energetic ER shears, ER scissors that cut through clothing and all kinds of stuff. And let me see what's going on there. All right, so it looks like the scar tissue was not letting your hip work well. It's like it was pulling on your hip, pulling on the muscles in that joint and not letting it move. Does that make sense? I mean, your hip joint was moving, but in the front, it looked like it was tethered.
That's what it feels like,
Yeah, with scar tissue. So
and it also goes down the inner right thigh. It's all kind of tied in, groin, inner thigh. It's called the adductor, I think.
Yeah. So I see a lot of inflammation there, Bob. I've put anti-inflammatory energy on that area. Hopefully that will calm it down and help you feel better. And by removing the scar tissue, hopefully that will allow your body to move, your skeleton to move the way it needs to move, and the pain will cease. So I hope that helps.
I hope. Do you see it as tied into the right upper molar, or should I?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about. No, I think that's different. Now, right side's the masculine side of the body, left side's the feminine side of the body. So, your hunter-gatherer kind of stuff, or you may have something emotional going on there. Oftentimes, if there's a lot of stuff on one side of the body, we'll see that happening. So think about that and pay attention to that. But the upper right back molar. Okay, so you've been to the dentist.
Yeah, right? And they actually removed the molar in front of it. But said this one we can't do anything because it's not showing a problem.
Okay, I'm gonna need to come back after the break. We're gonna take a quick break. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan show. Bob, I'll come back to you after the break. Welcome back to the Ask Julie Ryan show. We're on the phone talking with Bob, and Bob's calling in from San Francisco, and he's got a hip and a right groin issue that I think we've got figured out, Bob, and that tooth. I worked on it during the break, and it looks like it may need a root canal. I put some anti-inflammatory energy on it.
I've had 3 root canals in it already.
Yeah.
Might need another.
It's just all crumbly in there. It's not infected, but it's just crumbly. So I just removed it, and I used stem cell energy to generate new tissue in that, in that hole that the root was in. So hopefully that'll help. But you may end up losing that tooth as well. 3 root canals. Wow, that's a lot. So I hope that helps, and I hope the removal of the scar tissue helps you feel better as well.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks for calling tonight. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's go to Jackie next. Hi, Jackie.
Hi. Hi there.
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi. I'm okay. How are you?
Great. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Virginia.
Virginia. Got a question for me?
I do. I was hoping you could help me. You did some energetic surgery on my right leg, and you said it was the ligament in the right leg area, the thigh. It's right behind, in the back of my leg, and it feels like it's pulling a lot, and I can't raise my leg in certain ways. So I just wanted to know if it was healing properly, because it must have been about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. Not exactly sure, but about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Okay. Have you been to see the orthopedist or the physical therapist or chiropractor or anybody like that?
I have not.
Okay. I know you like to garden and you like to work out a lot. So what's been going on there?
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to kind of really not do as much because she said kind of keep off it. So I mean, I am doing some things, but I'm not as much as confused as to whether or not to stretch it, because I don't know. I don't want to do any harm to it.
Yeah. I think you need to stretch it. Absolutely. And
I do.
It's absolutely healing. It doesn't look anywhere near. Oh yeah, absolutely.
God.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. So stretch it. I mean, I don't think you need to run a marathon, but yeah.
Okay, so if it hurts when I when I am a little bit able to raise the leg, but it's still a little hurt. Not to worry about that too much. Just to give it a little stretching.
I think take it easy. If it hurts, don't do it. But take it easy, and you may want to go see a physical therapist and get some exercises that you can do from a physical therapist that can help you with that.
Okay, because I think unless you go to have a diagnosis, that I don't know whether you can go, but I'll check that out. But as far as you're concerned, it looks like it's healing.
It looks good. I think it's healing. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Can I ask you one other thing?
No, because I'm gonna put you on hold. If I have time, I'll come back. I'm trying to limit it to one question just so I can get as many people on as I can. So
sure. I
hope
understand.
I hope your leg feels better. Okay.
Oh, I'm so
Thanks,
glad.
Jackie.
Thank you so much. Okay,
Take care. Bye. All right, let's go to Jackie number 2. I got another Jackie. Hi, other Jackie.
Hello.
How are you, girl?
I'm good. Thanks for
Terrific.
taking my call.
You're welcome. Please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
A little town called Troy, Pennsylvania.
Troy. All right. Well, terrific. You got a question for me?
I do. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's hypothyroidism the 1st of July. And
okay.
I'm still feeling very fatigued and still not really well. I just wondered what you might see.
Are you on thyroid medicine?
I am, not very much, but I am, yes.
Okay.
And I was supposed to have everything looked like, it was corrected.
Okay, let me get you on my radar. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to PA. All right, got you. Shooting energy. Okay, like half of your thyroid looks like it's on and the other half doesn't. So I'm just going to crank it up and we'll get it going. Pay attention to how you're feeling. If you feel jittery, talk to your doctor, because sometimes when this healing happens, you got to reduce your medicine as you wean off of it.
I appreciate that. Yep.
Yeah, so the thyroid, it's funny when it starts up, Jackie, it's like, have you ever been around a power washer where they crank that thing up, or a Harley where they crank it up and it's like, oh my God, it's so loud. That's what it sounds like with the thyroid.
The Harley, yes.
I don't know. My husband had one when we first started dating, and he said on the phone one time, he goes, "Baby, let me crank it up for you." I'm like, okay, whatever. That's not what does it to me. It does it for me, but made him happy. Oh, funny. Okay, it's part of it looks like it's not working. There's a book I want you to get. It's called. It's by a woman named Isabella Wentz, W-E-N-T-Z. She's a PharmD. She has her doctorate in pharmacy.
Yep.
And it's about, she fixed her own Hashimoto's with diet. So they're not going to tell you that at the doctor's office. The other thing is, shoot me an email, JackieJulie@AskJulieRyan.com. I'll send you the gut biome link. And I would get that done. It's a test that, it's a fancy word for a poop test. And you do it at home. You don't need a doctor's order. And it's going to tell you what your superfoods are to eat, what are the foods for you to avoid. Here are the other foods to get a healthy immune system. And that's, food's the best medicine. So I would do those two things. Buy Dr. Wentz's book. And her website, by the way, is thyroidpharmacist.com. thyroidpharmacist.com. I would check that out. Email me, Julie@AskJulieRyan.com. I'll send you the link to that gut biome test. It's a little bit of a discount. And anybody listening, if you want to email me, I'll send it to you. And hopefully that will help. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Okay. Take care. Thanks for calling, Jackie. You bet. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. We're going to go to Miss Patty next. Hi, Patty.
Hi, Julie.
Patty.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you, girl?
Yeah.
Not good.
Well, hopefully, after speaking to you, I'll feel much better because I trust you. You are very good at what you do.
Oh, well, thanks, girl. Tell everybody where you're calling from, please.
Queens, New York.
All right. You got a question for me?
Yes. Did you read my email?
I did, but nobody else did. So can you tell everybody the question?
Well, okay, so what it is that in August I started to have my heart flutters, but it was more frequent. In the past, I had a family history of heart conditions. My mother has congestive heart failure, irregular heartbeat, and my brother, the day that Steve Jobs died in 2011, my brother was rushed to the hospital because his heart was racing at 255 beats a minute. He has something called SVT, supraventricular tachycardia. They did an
So tell us about your symptoms, Patty, just for time's sake. Tell us what's going on with you.
Every so often I have these heart flutters. Like I start to feel like a spasm, and then my heart starts to race. And at times it can race for a very long time.
Douglas.
And for a long, So for a long time I was told it was an anxiety attack, and then when they finally did the 24-hour, they see that what my brother has, I have. And I knew that I had this for a long time. But as I'm getting older now, it's getting more pronounced. So I started to feel, I went to the doctor in August. I didn't mention anything because I figure when he hears my heart, if I have the flutters, he'll see, no flutters. My heart's not irregular, nothing. So I have to still do an echocardiogram in November when my mother and my brother go back to the doctor. Okay.
Patty, how old are you? How young are you?
57.
57. And you're not on hormones, right? You're not on bioidentical hormones. I just shot some energetic estrogen into you, and you just lit up like the North Star. And I think that has a lot to do with your heart flutters, because I think you need estrogen. So bioidentical hormones. Do you know what those are?
Yes. I have to go. Finally, you told me that back in January, and
Yeah.
I have been. I forget. I've been on these creams, progesterone cream and estrol cream, but I don't think it's not doing anything because
I don't think you're on
have
enough. I don't think you're on
Right.
enough. So
Right.
the best
Is it my
place,
thyroid or is it my heart?
I think it's your hormones that are affecting all of it. I think your hormones aren't right. So go to Dr. Northrup, DrNorthrup.com. She's the fairy godmother of women's health. You can learn everything you need to know about women's health there, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, call the doctor that you're getting your prescription from. Is that your GYN?
No, he's a MD who specializes in cardiology.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well that's good. All right, I think your hormones are out of whack. They're not right. So that's number one. And number two, let me look at your heart real fast and see if there's anything going on there. Your heart looks okay to me, Patty. I think it's your hormones.
So, but can it also be like if I'm allergic to something, automatically erases?
Maybe. I'm going to need to take a quick break, so stay with us, everybody. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Patty, I think it's hormones. So thanks for calling. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. We're talking with people from all over the country and abroad, and our next caller is Tim. Hi, Tim. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Julie?
Tim, hi.
Yes, I'm right here. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Sounds like you're doing dishes.
That's exactly what was happening. Okay,
Are you multitasking? I'm proud of you. That's a girl thing. Good job. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York.
New York. All right. Terrific. Well, good. I hope you had something gourmet-ish for dinner.
I wouldn't say it's gourmet-ish, but hey, it was Mexican. It was great. And a margarita, so I feel great.
Perfect. Well, good. You got a question for me?
Yes, indeed, I do. My right foot, the bottom of it, it's been killing me. I'm going to the doctor. I got an MRI. I'm trying to get a follow-up appointment to do the MRI, but it's just been killing me. It's like a little, about a silver dollar size behind my toes. It's just constant pain. I was wondering if you can tell me anything.
Behind your toes on the bottom of your foot looks like a Morton's Neuroma to me. Has anybody said that to you? Does it feel like you're walking on a stone?
Yeah, it does feel like, yes. Feels like there's a spot that just feels like I'm walking on something, yes.
Yeah. That's a Morton's Neuroma. So I'm cutting it out, and then I'm going to use stem cell energy to regenerate that tissue there where all that padding is, behind your toes on the bottom of your foot. And those are wicked. I've had one. And some podiatrists will cut them out. Some orthopedic surgeons will cut them out. They'll also heal on their own. And I'll tell you who to go see to help that heal, Tim, is a chiropractor. Because, yeah, believe it or not, that's what healed mine. My chiropractor would adjust my foot, and they've got this little trigger thing that I don't know what, it's called an activator, and it's like this little metal device, and they'll use it on different body parts to kind of help adjust it. And she used that on that neuroma, and I'm telling you, within probably a month it was gone. So I would try chiropractor. It looks like a Morton's Neuroma. Hopefully the healing that I just watched happen on you is going to help a lot. I watched it get removed, and then I watched stem cell energy go in, and a vortex spin above it to regenerate the tissue. But I think that's what's going on with you, my man.
Okay, thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Look it up. Yeah, Google it, Morton's Neuroma. You'll see. Is your second toe longer than your first toe?
No, almost, maybe. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real common on people with second toes that are longer than their first toes, which mine are.
Okay.
Which my mother used to tell us was a sign of being an aristocrat back in the day. I don't know. She probably made that up. But if you Google Morton's Neuroma, you'll learn all about it. And I think that's what's going on with you. So hopefully that'll help you feel better.
You got it. Thank you so very much.
Okay. Take care. Thanks for calling, Tim. Bye-bye. All right, let's go to Suzanne next. Hi, Suzanne.
Hi, Julie.
How are you, girl?
I'm really, really well, although I'm having a little run with some migraines, which is very unusual for me. So I wanted to see if you could take a peek at me.
Sure. Please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City. Are you on the speakerphone?
Oh, well, I have my little earbuds in. Am I coming?
No, that's okay. All right. No, it's all right. You sounded like you were on the speakerphone there for a second. All right, let me get you on my radar and see what's going on. Hey, listen, I had Jonathan without drugs when I gave birth to him. Migraine pain's worse than labor pain. It's atrocious. It is. I tell people that all the time.
Pleasant.
It's
not
awful.
Very pleasant.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
I've been trying to hang tough, and I'm like, woo! So.
Okay. So I'm seeing mold. Where's the mold? Are you eating like a lot of blue cheese or something, or drinking a lot of wine, or you're getting mold exposure someplace? What you been doing?
I'm off wine. I'm
okay.
No blue cheese. Huh.
All right. What are you eating? Mushrooms or aged stuff or fermented stuff? I'm seeing mold. Where's the mold? Do you have a leak in your house?
Not that I know of. I wonder.
All right. There's a company called Homebiotic, Suzanne. And it's an antibiotic for the home. It's a bacteria that eats mold. If you go to homebiotic.com, they have a test that you can do in your home, and you vacuum up dust, and then you send it off to them, and they'll do a test for you. That will help you with that. And I'm seeing mold. What came to mind first was blue cheese, like really moldy Roquefort blue cheese. So it may be in something that you're eating that you're not aware of, or something along those lines. I'm getting more that it's a food that you're eating than mold in your house. So I'm removing the mold right now, and I keep seeing blue cheese, like a big hunk of Roquefort blue cheese. So see if that helps. You did the gut biome test already?
I did not.
Okay. Do that. That will help.
Okay.
Do you still have it?
I don't.
Okay. Email me, julie@askjulieryan.com, and I'll send you the link for a little bit of a discount. And this is food related, I think, and you're eating mold somewhere.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
That helps. Thank you so much.
Okay. You bet. Thanks for calling.
Okay. Bye-bye.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, do you mean the mold is in when you see it on me, where do you see it? I'm just curious, energetically.
I see it in your body, but I keep seeing this big hunk of blue cheese. So I don't know if that's a metaphor for your eating or drinking something moldy or what, but you have mold in your energy field. It's not awful, but it's something to do with mold. And when I see a hunk of blue cheese for you, I think it's something that you're eating. Have you been eating something different than you're
standing here
normally
staring
used
at
to?
my refrigerator?
Yeah, you got your refrigerator open.
Yeah. I'm like looking at all the cheeses.
Stay away from the cheeses.
Okay.
Stay away from anything fermented, Suzanne. Freeze your leftovers. Mold grows on leftovers. If you are going to eat fruit, peel it, because there's lots of mold on the peel. So you want to peel it, and never put a slice of lemon in your water. You know that, because there's tons of mold and yeast on the peel. If you need lemon in your water, squeeze it in your water, and then go from that. It's something you're eating. So
Okay.
I hope you figured out. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Everybody stay with us. We're going to take a break. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. We are talking with people from all over, and our next caller is LaShonda. Hi, LaShonda.
Hi, Julie.
How are you, girl?
I'm okay. I've been better, but I'm okay.
Yeah, what's going on? Please tell everybody where you're calling from first.
West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah, what's going on? Why are you sad?
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Quite recorded. Not particularly sad. I had not been feeling very well. Today was the first day I went back to work for a couple of days. I mean, we just started back going to school on Monday, to the actual brick and mortar school. But on Monday, out of the blue, it was a very weird day for me. I got up early, spent time in the shower doing my hair and everything, and somehow my nose started to run, and I couldn't stop sneezing. I just had this sneezing attack and fit, and I changed my mask out like 3 times the entire day, but I kept having to remove it to wipe my nose. It was like a faucet running, and it was just, with the sneezing, I couldn't stop, and I just, of course, it made me nervous, but long story short, it was bad, and eventually the sneezes got much harder or stronger to the point where they felt like they were scraping the inside of my chest, specifically on the right side. I was like, what is it? And my eyes were watering, and we just couldn't figure it out. So, the rule is if you don't feel well, especially in this climate, stay home. And I stayed home Tuesday and Wednesday, and I just went back today. So I feel significantly better, but 48-hour flu, I have no idea.
I'm getting it was allergies, LaShonda. I had you on my radar while you were talking. I got you on my radar, and you had an allergic reaction to something, probably because the building had been closed up for all those months. Nobody had been in the schools.
Well, it happened at home, I guess. Well, the school actually ours has been under construction throughout the summer, like right after, they closed the country down, and we were out for maybe about a month. They had already planned to do some renovations over the summer, so they just got an early start. And they really just made it habitable where we could come back on campus and prepare for our return for this week, only last week.
Yeah.
But they've been there. But I started in the shower. Sometimes when I'm in there, if I'm in there longer than 45 minutes or something, especially with detangling and all the stuff with my hair, it opens my sinuses, but it's never lasted that long. So I don't know what it is I'm allergic to, but it did.
Yeah, it was an allergic reaction to something. And it's something in the air, and I'm getting, when you went to school, it was bad as well. It sounds like it was bad all day.
Yes.
Yeah. Did it ramp up when you went to school?
Yes, it was miserable. I couldn't turn off my nose. It flowed like water. Yeah. And it would just flow down my lip and chin and my mask, and it was just bad, and I couldn't stop sneezing. Once you start, it was back to back to back, and eventually my chest just hurt so bad, like it was just raw inside.
Was it better when you went today?
Yes, but I mean, it's taken me 2 days of taking all work when we really just went back, to feel better. But I'm compared to Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, I feel 100% better. Well, I won't say that, but significantly. But I don't know what caused it.
Go on the Weather Channel. Do you have the Weather Channel app on your phone?
Yes, I have it on TV too. Yes,
Yeah,
but I
go to
do.
the Weather Channel and see what the allergens are in the southern Florida right now. It would be interesting to see what they are, and I think that's going to give you a clue. And see what they, how they'll have the pollen count that gets high. I have a friend that lives near you who was having a bunch of allergy reactions. I was talking to her on the phone the other morning when I was on a walk, and she was sneezing like a banshee too. So it was something in the air that your little system didn't like.
It says pollen, none.
Yeah,
at the moment.
it's something. I don't know what to tell you. I just get you were allergic to something, and there was something in the school that made it worse even. So I'm getting it's something in the air.
Yes,
and in that building that was closed up, and then they did renovations on, and nobody's been in it, so they haven't had the ventilation probably going like they normally would. So hopefully that'll help. Yeah. Okay. I put anti-inflammatory energy on you, LaShonda. I don't see any infection. I don't see any bacterial infection. I don't see any viral infection. I get it's allergies. So that's the good news.
I came home and took an allergy pill, but I didn't get any relief for a day and a half. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, let's go to Brittany next. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I'm calling from Boston.
All right, terrific. What's going on up there?
I was just hoping you could do a body scan for me. I've been feeling really depressed for a while now, experiencing headaches, lack of energy, trouble sleeping. I've tried the St. John's wort. I also feel like I have no direction in the world. I'm not sure if that's making me feel that depressed. And I'm also having trouble at work. The doctors who I work for are really emotionally abusive. So I'm not sure if I should change jobs. So it's kind of a lot going on at once. I was wondering if you can give me some insight.
Yeah, you're just going to get whammied from all directions. Holy crap, girl. Oh, poor baby. All right, I got you on my radar. I've shot energy from your feet up through the top of your head. So what are you eating and drinking? It looks like you've been not eating the healthiest of things. Is that right? That's what we do. When we get stressed, we eat, a lot of us.
Yes.
So, try and stay low on the food chain, Brittany. If God made it, eat it. If man made it in a factory, do your best to avoid it. Serotonin, is the feel-good brain chemical. 95% of it's made in our gut. 95%. So if you can eat food that's, like I said, low on the food chain, grass-fed meat, organic free-range chicken, wild-caught fish, fruits, vegetables, that kind of thing. Stay away from the processed stuff. Stay away from the sugar. Stay away from fermented stuff like alcohol and wine and beer and, jazz like that. It's really going to help you feel better with the depression. That's number one. On the work, is it in Brittany's best interest to look for another job? Do you want to stay in the same industry? You want to stay in healthcare?
Yes, I'm a nurse practitioner, so I know there's a lot I can do with it, but I just feel kind of lost, I guess.
Yeah. I'm getting that there's some big company, a chain, that is running a bunch of doctors' practices up there and is connected with some of the hospitals. You got all the different hospital chains and stuff, that there are some really good opportunities for you in there. So I get it's in your best interest to look around. I get that there's something with a big corporation that you're going to be able to find a job that you like better and that's going to pay you more, and it's just going to be a much better situation.
Okay.
Yeah. Look around and see.
Okay. I was thinking of doing my own business, doing either Botox or the lactation consultant, so that would probably be something I would do on the side. Or do you see me really just doing the corporation route?
I see you doing the corporation thing, and see if you can fit that in and learn how it goes. Learn from the big corporation before you go out on your own. Just try it out and see what you need to do. And then, I'm always about when you're starting something up, starting on the side while you still have income coming in. As an entrepreneur, that's what I did many times. And you just want to have more than one egg in your basket at all times.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help.
All right. Email me. I'll send you the gut biome test. I think that would make sense for you too. Julie@AskJulieRyan.com. Okay, Brittany. Thanks for calling. You bet. Bye-bye. All right, let's go to Miss Kathy next. Hi, Kathy.
Hey there. Hi, Julie.
How are you, girl? How are you?
I'm good. I've had a smile on my face the whole time. This is exciting.
And
please tell us
where you're calling from.
I'm calling from downtown Chicago.
Chicago. Well, pleasure to meet you too. How may I help you this evening?
I have a question regarding PTSD.
Okay.
And I've had car accidents and near-death experiences and just trauma. And I've worked diligently in getting my facilities, like everything working, and also talk therapy and body work and physical therapy. You name it, I've been doing it. But I feel that my body it's been through a lot, and I just feel that it's carrying that trauma, and that parts of it just want to have release because other parts have been enjoying the release. And when I enter or have problem, like I can be in a situation where it evokes the feelings from the car, like the sound of the car accident, or something will come up, and I'll go into that PTSD, like heightened freak out mode. I become so ungrounded. So I'm trying to...
Kathy, I'm going to need to take a quick break here, so stay with us. I'm going to hold you over, and I'll come back to you after the break. Everybody, you're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan show, so stay with us. Welcome back to the Ask Julie Ryan show. Before the break, we were talking with Kathy in Chicago about PTSD symptoms. Kathy, during the break, I went ahead and scanned you and did a healing on your head. You've got a bunch of scar tissue in your brain. And I don't know if you've been in accidents or taken falls or something, but I removed the scar tissue and I used stem cell energy to regenerate new brain matter during the break. And the reason why we want to remove scar tissue when we see it is because it can occlude neural pathways and it changes how the brain functions. So a couple of places, do you have a pen? I'm going to give you a couple of websites to check out.
Yes. I have a pen.
Okay. The first one is Amen Clinics, A-M-E-N, like amen, hallelujah, at the end of a prayer. You know, Amen Clinics, plural.com. They do have a clinic in the Chicago metro area. I looked it up during the break. It's on Waukegan Road, so it's probably in the northern suburbs. And I believe they can help you with this, number one. And then the other one I want you to look up is called Retrainingthebrain.com. And it's called Dynamic Neural Retraining. And they have a tremendous success rate with PTSD symptoms.
Okay.
So retrainingthebrain.com and amenclinics.com. Amen Clinics they have MDs and other therapists that are there, and they can do testing on your brain to see what parts of your brain light up with certain activities. And they work a lot. They've done tons of work with pro and college athletes, veterans with PTSD, others, people that have been abused and things, had horrible things that they've experienced in their life. And they just do remarkable things with these people and get them well. Yeah. So both of those, I think, can be really helpful resources. In the meantime, keep eating stuff that has a good fat content in it. You know, when the brain is healing, the stuff that I read is lots of omega-3s. So wild-caught salmon, avocado, you know, highly refined coconut oil, that kind of stuff can help as well. So hopefully that healing will give you a running start. It's like you're a plane, you're a jet heading down the runway, and to get airborne, I think see a couple of those places that I gave you the websites for, if they can help you.
Okay. Well, thank you. I did have a traumatic. Yeah, I had a traumatic brain injury, so
I can tell. Yeah. I removed the scar tissue. Yeah, I can tell. It looks like the scar tissue looks like chicken cartilage in a chicken breast. You know, that white flexible stuff. Yeah. And so I scoop it out. Brain matter looks like, you know, my visuals are really nutty, but it's just because it gives you a quick overview of what I'm seeing. And the reason I'm so descriptive is because if you can envision what I'm seeing, it helps integrate the healing into your body. So brain matter looks like thick cooked oatmeal to me. So I scoop out the scar tissue. I put stem cell energy in, which looks like a light amber colored gel, has sparkles in it. Of course, because it's, you know, it's woo-woo. You gotta have sparkles. And it has a watery consistency to it. It reminds me of the hair gel Dippity Doo that was big in the 60s when I was a kid.
I remember that.
Do you remember that?
My aunts, my aunts, my aunts and my grandma had that. Yep.
I know. My babysitter had it. I remember Dippity Doo. So,
well, I appreciate the visual. Yeah, I appreciate the visual because it helps me. Yeah, it helps me think about and see in my own mind's eye.
And then when I removed that and I regenerated that brain matter again during the commercial break, then your neural pathways lit up, and they look like laser beams crisscrossing a room in a museum as part of a security system. You may have seen it in a movie. And so that's what neural pathways look like when they're all lit up. So we probably raised your IQ level by a few points. So
very cool.
You may want to apply to Mensa. Who knows? Okay. Thanks, Kathy, for calling. I hope you feel better. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to Janet next. Hi, Janet.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. I just, I've been listening, and I noticed a lot of the questions have been centered around health issues, so I wanted to make sure that I'm not out of line because mine is not a question on health or anything.
Honey, I'm a businesswoman that learned how to do woo, and I am a buffet of psychicness. So bring it on. Whatever you got, well, I'm happy to talk about it.
Okay, I'm from the Houston area. I'm from a town called Missouri City. Well, I nickname it Misery City. But anyway, I am recently forced into retirement. I was fired from my job, but I want to move out of this city, and my dream has been to live in Colorado. And my daughter lives there for now, but she won't after a while. Her husband's in the Army, and they'll be moving eventually. But that's why I wanted to go while they're there, get established. And I would like to have God use me as a healing source. I would like to find a tribe of people there, a network of other like-minded spiritual people, and I'm just trying to figure out the best part of Colorado to move to, or if that's even the right area for me. And, you know, at my age, to try to make a major move like that, I'm just trying to, and I can't seem to get, you know, I've been praying and meditating about it and everything, and it's just, I don't have any clear pathway ahead, and I don't want to sit on my laurels for too long, and then I'm so decrepit and old I can't do a move like that.
What came in when you said, I don't know what area to go to? Boulder came in my head.
Boulder, okay.
Boulder.
Okay.
Where's your daughter?
She's actually in Colorado Springs. That's the Army bases over there.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the Durango area, and I've been hearing that the Four Corners is a prime area to move to, but just trying to figure out where that is, you know, I want, when I do this, I want to make sure, and if it's even the right thing for me, or if I tell my daughter, you know, I think if you have a dream, God wants you to manifest your dreams. So I'm not giving up on that, but at the same time, I just want to make sure I'm not reaching for the stars and land somewhere else.
I got a no on Durango. I got a no on Durango. I got a no on Colorado Springs. I got a yes on Boulder. I got a yes on Aspen.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll help. I'm going to need to let you go, but let us know what you decide. How exciting.
I appreciate that
Thanks,
so much.
Janet.
Thank you. Take care.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Ask Julie Ryan show. We've got a bunch more people we're going to try and get on here before the end of the show. But first, we do this show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-775-7035, and the access code is 483620#. This information is available on my website at AskJulieRyan.com and in the show notes anywhere you download podcasts. We're on pretty much anywhere you can think of to download a podcast, including YouTube and Alexa. When you're downloading, remember to subscribe. And if you haven't seen a show that's dated in the past couple of months, unsubscribe and then resubscribe because I'm on a new feed. So you may be on the old feed and there's nothing happening there anymore. So when you're there, also please leave a review and then follow me on Instagram and sign up for my newsletter. A lot of you have already done all of those, and then you'll be entered into a drawing that I'll announce on the 8th of somebody who's won a free session with me. Well, also, while you're on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter. It's a question somebody submitted along with my answer, and you can schedule an appointment with me there too. I'm booked out a couple of months, so go ahead and get on my calendar, and then when you get your confirmation email, you'll see this little button that says reschedule down at the bottom. Periodically click on that, and it will show you dates and times perhaps that are sooner that have become available. Just somebody before I went on the air changed her appointment from January to 2 weeks from now. So click that reschedule button and you can move it around and see what's available. So everything you need can be found at AskJulieRyan.com. All right, this week, Jane Ann from Roselle, New Jersey asked, "Hi, Julie. My grandson Noah is 18 months old. He's a very happy and expressive little guy and has a few residual side effects from his traumatic birth. In particular, the right side of his body was affected. Although he's making great strides and his development is on point in so many ways, Noah has very weak oral muscles, which cause him to drool excessively, be a weak eater, and delayed in speech. His core muscles are also weak. Noah can walk and play and have fun, yet he's a bit uncoordinated in his movements. Also, his right hand and arm are very weak. He uses his left hand and arm for everything. He does seem to be getting stronger, and there are concerns about whether he will ever speak. Noah is very communicative and alert, but just isn't making speaking sounds. By the way, his hearing has been checked and is fine. Could you or would you work with him? Thank you for all you do. With gratitude, Jane Ann." And here's my response. "Hi, Jane Ann. Thanks for allowing me to, quote, meet your grandson, Noah. He's darling." By the way, she sent me a picture of Noah. It's going to be on my website. He is as cute as you can imagine. He's just a cutie pie. I went on to say, "I energetically connected to you and from you to Noah. I told him I was a friend of yours. When I asked his permission to scan his body and potentially do a healing on him, he immediately said, sure." It was really cute. A lot of times little kids don't want me to scan them, and I honor that. So it was fun when I checked it out with him. The energy first went to the right side of his jaw. It looked, in my mind's eye, like the temporomandibular joint, also known as TMJ, was misaligned and stretching the muscles in an unusual way. This joint to me looks like two toothed wheels found inside a clock that make it run, the gears of a clock. You know, those teeth go into the wheel next to it and it makes those wheels turn, which makes the clock work. I disconnected Noah's right TMJ and realigned it. Then I tightened his right jaw muscles. Next, I removed scar tissue in Noah's brain. I was just talking with Kathy about that scar tissue looks like chicken cartilage to me, the kind you'd find in a chicken breast with the bone in. I removed the scar tissue in Noah's brain, regenerated brain matter with stem cell energy, and watched his neural pathways light up. From what I often see, again in my mind's eye, scar tissue can occlude neural pathways, causing a plethora of symptoms. After that, I did a healing on the nerves affecting Noah's right arm, hand, leg, and foot. The inside of those nerves were cleared with a tiny corkscrew-like device that tunnels through the debris inside that nerve. I irrigated them, and then stem cell energy was poured inside to regenerate nerve tissue, which allows the signals from Noah's brain to better control his right extremities. As for Noah's speech, I asked him telepathically about if and when he would talk. He told me he was just observing for right now. I believe Noah will eventually speak, probably in sentences right from the start. Hope these healings help your precious grandson continue to live a productive and joyful life. So I thought that was really sweet that Jane Ann sent me all that with her grandson. And be sure and go on AskJulieRyan.com and see his picture. He is just a cutie pie. So Noah, I hope that helps you feel better. Okay, let's go back to the phones. And our next caller is Lane. Hi, Lane.
Hi, Julie. It's Carolyn Lane. We've spoken before, and I'm so happy to talk to you.
Hi, Carolyn. Am I on speakerphone by any chance? I'm getting a bunch of feedback.
You are not on speaker now.
Yay! Thank you. Okay, good. I sounded like I was in a it sounded like we were in a sci-fi movie. It was going whoa, whoa.
No, you're in the real thing.
Okay, good. Good. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Oakland, California, Oakland Hills, San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah.
And we spoke before. I'm always checking on my mom. So she is, just a wonderful woman, and I believe she's in your angelic stages of. And last time we spoke, you thought she might be in stage 9.
Okay.
So I was just checking in again to see where we're at.
Okay. Remind me of her name, please.
Maureen.
Maureen. All right. Okay. So I'm going to connect to you and from you to Maureen. Yeah, she's in phase 10. So what we're talking about, for those of you that don't know, the 12 phases of transition are what we all go through as we're dying. And it's a configuration of angels and deceased loved ones, spirits, and the pet spirits or deceased pet spirits that show up. And the angels start in a circle around the person, then they open up into a horseshoe, and eventually into a straight line. Your mom's spirit is outside of her body. It looks like a bubble hanging on to the top of her head. And there are angels on either side of the spirit bubble. Their wings are moving, and they are creating a vortex above her head. That will eventually help her body separate from her spirit. And then those angels will escort her spirit to heaven. The interesting thing about the vortex, which is the phase that she's in right now, is when I was researching my book, Angelic Attendants, What Really Happens as We Transition from This Life into the Next, I found that there's this phenomenon called the Wingtip Vortex. And it's what every bird, bug, plane, jet, kite happens to them. That's what gives them lift. There's this vortex that forms underneath the wings, and it's what gives them lift. And that's what I see happen when somebody's dying. So she's getting close. How does she seem to you?
So, I talk to her every day. She lives 4 hours away, and she's, okay. I do hear that little breathing, that little rattle in her breath, but she's up and around, and she's got a little bit of dementia or, short-term memory problems. but she seems okay. So I'm just trying to figure out how long, and because of course I want to be with her when I can.
Yeah, I think she's to the point where you probably want to be with her, because 10, 11, that's getting pretty close. When I ask her, is she ready to go? She's telling me yes. Are you in pain? She says sometimes. What do you need? She's saying chocolate. Does she like chocolate?
Yeah, she does. She likes sweets.
Yeah. So take her some chocolate. Take her some chocolate.
And like, I know, because we've talked once before and had an email, and she literally went from phase 4, and I have your book, by the way, to phase 9, like end of July till a couple weeks ago. And now you're saying 10. So I'm 10. Like, is it months or is it weeks or is it days? That's what I don't really know.
Nah, neither does anybody else. Because
in God's hands, I know. He's in charge.
Yeah, and her hands, because we all decide when we go, where we go, who's with us when we go, all of that. And, talk to any funeral director, and they have a million stories about, the family sat with Grandma, and then they were out of the room for 5 minutes, and Grandma left while nobody was in the room with her. So everybody's different. I would say, is it in your best interest to go be with your mom at this point? I get a yes. Can you take time off work and go be with her?
Yeah, I mean, I can go and stay up there for a while. I just was checking on what.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would go. Phase 10, I would say I would go. Yeah. Now, sometimes they rally. Sometimes they go backwards in a different phase. Sometimes it stalls. Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. People can be in phase 11, and then they're up walking around 10 years later. It's not very often, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. So it's not an exact science.
I was thinking of Anita Moorjani, right?
Well, yeah. Everybody that's ever had a near-death experience. And there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that have around the world. But when somebody's going through the phases rapidly, like you said, she went from 4 to 9 pretty quickly, and now she's kind of hanging out for the past month. You can ask, what phase is my mom in, and you'll get an answer in your head, and then look at the chart on my website, AskJulieRyan.com. Okay. Well, good luck.
Okay.
Keep us posted.
And I have my appointment with you in December, so I appreciate you taking my call.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the Ask Julie Ryan show. Let's see who else we've got here waiting to ask their question. I believe our next caller is Missy. Hi, Missy.
Hi.
Hi, Missy. Hi, how are you?
There, I'm off the speakerphone now.
Good girl. Tell us where you're calling from.
Well, the wine country in Northern California.
Wonderful.
Yes, and
how is it up there?
Not all out, but
they're not out yet.
No, but we're going in the right direction, and we actually have had some blue skies and 2 nights of being able to see the stars, and so life is getting better.
Oh, geez, my goodness, you guys have really been through it. We had a couple of hurricanes blown around down here, and I kept telling my husband too. I kept saying, God, if we could only send all that water up to the West Coast, to Northern California and Oregon, that would be helpful. So, well, good. I'm glad you're okay. Got a question for me?
Thank you. Sure. Yeah, I recently had my breast implants removed, my explant.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just wanted to check. I'm 4 months post-op, and I just wanted to check on the scar tissue, how that's going, and it's like my sternum. I can't seem to put any pressure on my sternum area. I had that before the removal, and I thought it would be gone, and I just noticed there's just some pressure there.
Mm-hmm. Did they take the capsules out?
Yes.
Where the implants were? Yeah, because I know a lot of women don't get those removed, and then they cause all kinds of problems later on. Okay, so let me see what's going on. Did you have one that failed? Is that why you got them removed?
Yeah, it was several little small things that sort of added up, but they went in capsule. The capsules got real hard, and I had 3 implant surgeries. And then I said to myself, if it ever happens again, the 4th one, they're going out. And I started having heart issues and issues that didn't make sense. And then when I would go get all these tests, they're like, "Oh my dear, you're so healthy, but maybe you need a nice counselor or something." And it's like,
please.
Yeah.
Have you looked into the, and I'm going to scan you here in a second, but Missy, have you looked into, there's apparently this huge Facebook group, like breast implant illness. It's got 40,000 women.
BII by Nicole. There's 116,000 women on there. By the grace of God, I found that website, and the heel is real. And if I hadn't have found that website, I wouldn't be sitting here flat-chested.
Mm-hmm. And you'd be sick. Yeah.
I would. I had no idea.
Okay. So I'm still seeing some residual in there. Some of the capsule, some of the capsule that's there. So what I'm doing is I'm removing it energetically. I'm on the right side right now and clearing it out. It's like there's residual plastics in there that have bonded into your tissue. So I'm watching it get cut. Like if you cut a watermelon in half, my visuals are hilarious at times. If you cut a watermelon in half and you want to cut along the edge of where the rind is, because you're going to scoop out all the meat and take it into chunks, that's what I'm doing on the right side. I'm watching a hot knife, basically, like a wire that they use in surgery, and it's going around the edges where your tissue is and getting down in healthy tissue. You've still got residual in there. I know that's not what you want to hear. That's what I'm seeing. So I'm cleaning that out. All right. And now what I'm doing is I'm coating it with my stem cell energy, the dippity-doo stuff you hear me talk about. It has sparkles and it's a light amber colored gel. And I want you to picture all of this. And then there's a vortex that's formed in the middle of that cavity that's spinning very fast. That vortex is what transforms the stem cell energy into new body parts, whatever we need. This stuff is so cool, Missy. I've seen it regenerate whole organs before that show up on scans, and I've had doctors call me and say, "What are you doing with my patient? How's this stuff work?" So I have to explain it to them. All right, I'm doing the same thing on the left side. We're girls, so we can multitask. So I'm watching the healing, I'm talking to you, and I'm getting divine downloads put into my head. I always tell my husband multitasking is a female superpower. He rolls his eyes, but he knows I'm right. Okay, so I'm watching that, and then stem cell energy in there too. The stem cell energy, what I believe I'm watching when I use stem cell energy to heal a body part, Missy, is every cell has a nucleus. The nucleus is surrounded by cytoplasm, which is a watery gel, like dippity-doo. And our bodies act as mini nuclear reactors, and there's a centrifugal force that causes cells to divide and replicate. And we do that with hundreds of thousands of cells every day. So in these healings with stem cell energy, I believe I'm watching what our body does naturally. I'm just watching it in warp speed. Okay, got that going on. All right, now I'm just irrigating your whole system. You got plastic residual. You got resin still in you. So I would find a functional medicine doctor. And if you go to IFM, I for Institute, F for functional, M for medicine, ifm.org, and put your zip code in, you'll find a doctor in your area who can help you with the detox. I think that's what's going on. I think you still got some toxins in there.
And what about the sternum? Why the sternum? It's like my food gets caught sometimes, and I just can't. I have to take the bra off, and I don't. I just was wondering if you could pick anything up off there.
Well, I think there was still some of that capsule in there on the right side. Remember I said the energy went to the right side first, and I started working on that. I think some of it might have been pressing on your esophagus. I don't see any occlusion now. I mean, I didn't see an occlusion, but kind of like if something was pressing on your esophagus as you were trying to swallow, and that it was sore. So see if that helps, see if that healing helps.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish you luck with that. Thanks for calling, Missy.
Thank you, and I will schedule an appointment with you.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, everybody, that's it for this week. Thanks for everybody that called in. I will see you on the 8th. Listen to my show with Michael Sandler, and have a great week. Take care, everybody. Bye now.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Julie on Instagram and YouTube at Ask Julie Ryan, and like her on Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. To schedule an appointment or submit a question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.
This show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical, psychological, financial, or legal advice. Please contact a licensed professional. The Ask Julie Ryan Show, Julie Ryan and all parties involved in producing, recording, and distributing it assume no responsibility for listeners' actions based on any information heard on this or any Ask Julie Ryan shows or podcasts.